Hello, my name is Paul Evans and I'm the Deputy Dean here at the School of Foundation and English Language Studies at BPP University. I'm also the head of the Hospitality and Event Management Department. Today, I'm interviewing Monica Orr. And Monica is the founder of Star Quality Hospitality and the author of 2 best-selling books, including the Star Quality Experience. And today we're going to be talking to Monica about customer care and her views upon the industry. Monica, thank you for joining us. I wonder if you might give the audience a little taste of your background in hospitality and also your main interests.
Thank you, Paul. So my name is Monica Orr and I work as a hospitality consultant. So I work with independent hotels and restaurants, looking at their business structure and service delivery. So I've always been passionate about the hospitality industry, and it actually started when I read a book called Hotel by Arthur Hailey, and I was fascinated by what goes on behind the scenes. And similarly to you, Paul, I actually started my career down in South Devon in Torquay.
I didn't know that.
So I actually studied hotel management at South Devon College, and whilst I was down there, I was also the student member of the HCIMA, which is now known as the Institute of Hospitality. So from studying and working in Torquay, I then returned to London, which is where I was from. I started my career working at the Ritz and on board luxury cruise ships. So I travelled around the world. And then I spent a lot of my career working for Hilton, and I managed 5 of their London properties. I did rebranding, I did refurbishments, and I did hotel openings with them. I've spent a lot of my time developing hospitality managers, from people working at Travelodge hotels through to the British Army. And through doing that, I've built a very strong network. I was the chairman of the Institute of Hospitality in London, and now I run my own consultancy.
Fascinating. So a real cross-section of operations and styles throughout your whole career.
Yeah.
And what made you come into hospitality in the first place, apart from looking at the book? What is your passion within hospitality?
I think it's very much about being hospitable, about, being there to serve others, to help people. And I think that's really where it's kind of stemmed from.
So in your second book, The Star Quality Experience, this looks at the hotelier's guide to creating what you call memorable guest journeys. What prompted you to write this book?
Well, my personal vision is that wherever a guest stays, whatever restaurant they dine in, that they will be given a unique, memorable experience, and that will be created by the hospitality professionals that they meet along the way. And what tends to happen in hospitality is the teams are trained to give a very good welcome, and they're very quite good at doing that. But what they're not so good at is seeing all the opportunities that they can have when they meet their various guests. And there's so many opportunities that are missed. So the idea behind the book is to look at the whole of the guest journey, not just at when a guest first arrives and when you first meet them, but before you even meet the guest, what happens when the guest stays and what happens afterwards as well.
So when we're looking at customer care and the service throughout the hospitality industry, what is the main changes that you've seen happen now over the last 10 years, shall we say, or even further back if you wish? Maybe in terms of things like the brands, the communication, and perhaps also importantly about the delivery as well.
I think with customer service, it very much used to be kind of in years gone by that guests expected a certain level when they went to a hotel. So whether they went to a Marriott or a Premier Inn, for example, they knew from that hotel brand what they were going to get. However, things have moved on from then, and it's not so much about guest experience. It's not so much about customer service now. It's more about creating guest experiences. So these days, I think guests are a lot more adventurous. They don't necessarily want to wake up in a hotel room that's exactly the same, and they don't know where they are around the country, which used to be the old kind of profile, if you like, of hotels. And they want a more unique experience. So the last few years, times have changed, and it's been very much about the interior design of the hotel to make it unique. And so customers have gone along with that, and like you've got different hotel concepts coming along. But even now, that's becoming a bit of a standard that when you go to a hotel, you're going to have a wow interior. So really what the customer now wants is actually an individual personalised experience.
Interesting. So we've gone even further now than the kind of the brand overview to it just being this kind of very same wherever you go, not just in the country, but also in the world. I mean, the difference between a Sheraton and Intercontinentals are all becoming almost standardized, aren't they? So, I mean, we were talking about individualized experience from in there. I mean, is that something which you think that the brands are managing to give these days?
I think a lot of the brands have opened up to that idea, which is why there's so many different brands within brands now.
Okay. So what they're trying to do then is give a different hotel brand per requirement almost, and rather than try to be all things to all men, which is how it used to be, of course, as they're coming through. So having a look at that and drilling down even further, one of the interesting aspects nowadays is social media. And how do you think this has actually impacted upon the requirement for what you call customer care or even the experience from both a guest and also a management point of view?
I think social media is extremely important. There's pros and cons to it from both sides. For the hotelier, I think they love it when the guests will take a photo of the room, post it up, take a photo of the meal they're about to eat, and, tweet about that. And, it goes viral. Everyone loves it. Everyone likes to see a good photo. But then on the other side of it, likewise, the guest has realised, well, actually, if I've got a complaint, I'm going to put it straight onto Twitter. And the reason they do that, yes, it's public, but also they want an instant response. And they know that, hotels are getting a lot more wiser, and they look at Twitter and they will respond on Twitter. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It helps them, but also it can be a bit of an enemy for them as well.
I mean, the biggest element, of course, TripAdvisor. Is it the bane or the boon for hospitality professionals?
I think TripAdvisor is a necessary evil, to be honest. Hoteliers probably don't always like it. But to be honest, for the guest side, guests love it because that's where they're going to be doing their research. That's where they're going to make the decision as to what hotel they'll actually stay at the end. And again, similar to Twitter and Facebook, hoteliers have got to be on the board. They've got to be looking at those reviews that are coming in, and they need to reply to all of them.
Do you believe now that something like TripAdvisor is becoming almost a lot of noise involved with it? So you get a lot of polarized views, but also the fact that you can look at some of these things and you think, well, someone's got an issue there, that they either want something or that they're coming back. Do people still believe TripAdvisor, you think?
I think so, because it's the peer-to-peer reviews that are going on there. So, a guest stays, they'll write the review, and they're writing it in the knowledge that other guests will be reading that review to make that decision of whether or not they're going to stay. And you will get some guests who will go on there to grumble because they want to. But again, that's why I think the management have to respond to every single review, the good ones as well as the not so good ones.
Okay. Coming back a little bit about this aspect such as brands, how do you think that customer service has impacted upon things such as brand loyalty? And how are some of these brands now looking to manage that kind of feedback from the guests?
I think when you talk about brand loyalty, I always think about loyalty cards, loyalty points, and that's how it all started. You collect things and you get rewarded for it, and people love to collect things. If you look into your wallet, I'm sure you've got loads of loyalty cards in there, as we all do. But I think what some of the hotels are getting very clever about is they're using that information. So from the customers that are signing up to these, their loyalty rewards and what have you, they're finding out exactly what the customer actually wants. And Marriott's actually quite a good example of what they do. I've talked about brands within brands, and Marriott have so many of those now. If we just look at two of their brands, you've got the Edition, which a lot of people don't actually know belongs to Marriott because they don't advertise that at all. And with the Edition, they sell themselves as an independent hotel aimed at media types. And if you think about the name of the Edition, it sounds like a magazine, and that's their target market. Whereas if you look at one of their other brands, a newer brand, Moxie, which is aimed very much at the younger generation. It's almost like a posh hotel, a posh hostel type thing, but you still have the hotel elements to it. But it's very fun, it's very lively, it's very, very different, and it's not a home away from home. Whereas a lot of hotels say, we are your home away from home. They go the other direction. But they very much push their Marriott rewards, saying, we are a Marriott brand, and come and join our loyalty program. So it's different how they're targeting the different types of customers they have.
That's interesting, and I think the way you've described it, getting away from this home from home idea, back again talking about this kind of experience.
Yeah.
Which so I don't want to be at home. I want to be away, actually experiencing something. And perhaps then we can talk about that in a bit more detail, because in your book you talk around your idea of the 7 R's, and I'd like, please, for you to expand upon this, and perhaps you might be able to give us some best practices or best examples in industry about how these are actually being managed.
Yeah, sure. So the 7 R's, we look at resources, response, rapport, refine, review, retain, and return. So when we're looking at resources, this is very much about how your hotel guest is actually going to find you. So we're looking at things like making sure your website is fully responsive and not just a static website, but it's always being updated, and whatever platform someone's looking at your website, they can actually read it properly. And also we're looking at encouraging your guests to actually book directly through the website. So there's lots of arguments about OTAs.
That's tough, isn't it, these days?
And we're not going to go into that argument today.
No. It's a big decision.
But one of the things that hoteliers have kind of cottoned on to is they do need to be getting direct bookings, and the website's going to be one of the ways that they can do that. So that's really what resources is about. Then it's about response. So normally what happens, someone books a hotel, they get a bog standard email confirmation, so okay, yep, I know my room's booked. And then they hear nothing from the hotel.
Right.
Now, some people might book that hotel weeks or even months in advance. So when we're looking at response, what we're looking at is that the hotel will preempt the customer's arrival, and they'll call up that customer. They'll find out why they're staying, who are they, and get that pre-arrival information on them. So then when the guest does actually arrive, they've started to build a relationship with their guest. But also there may be something that they needed to know of how to make that guest feel very, very welcome and personalise that experience a little bit more.
Yeah.
So once the guest has arrived, then it's very much about the rapport building and that relationship building. So this is the first time they're going to be face-to-face with the guest. And again, what tends to happen is, guests come and certain team members know who they are, but that's not communicated throughout the whole of the team. And so again, opportunities are missed. So it's looking at how you communicate the information about the guest for everyone to know. So whoever that guest meets, that hotel member will know who they are and know what their preferences are, for example. So that leads us on to refining that experience. This is about really personalising the experience. So we're talking about the use of guest profiles. And with technology today, a lot of hotels have that technology they can use to build up on the guest profiles. But it's also about what I call delivering random acts of kindness. So this is the selfless acts where the team member will do something for a guest. They will preempt what a guest wants before the guest actually realises they needed it. So this can't be a bog standard, this is my standard in a hotel, this is what you will do, because they're so unique. And the only way these acts of kindness can happen is through the team member being observant and by having very good communication amongst the team of what this guest is doing, what they like, what they don't like. And it could be something from a conversation, it could be maybe a bag they're carrying, something they notice, and then they can create an experience from that. That's probably the hardest thing that the hoteliers have to learn how to do. Then, as the guest leaves, obviously you do want the guest to review, because word of mouth is always the best way to get repeat business. And so a tip that I give to some hoteliers is, what you might want to do is give a small parting gift, something they can remember you by.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be a massive thing. It could just be a little postcard or something, or it could be something else, depending on the hotel, obviously. But what you want to do at the end of the day is you want to encourage your guests to review your hotel. And ideally, you want them to do it there and then when they're at the hotel, rather than they've left and they've forgotten about you.
Ah, right. So you're getting that kind of positivity then, rather than the kind of potentially going away and getting something which maybe something else might affect their decisions about later on.
And also, what tends to happen is we're very good at welcoming, but not very good at saying goodbye.
Yeah, yes.
So it's really getting that goodbye to be like the best goodbye that they're going to have, and it really impacts them. Oh wow, that's so nice there.
Yeah,
definitely coming back. And then we're going to look at how you're going to retain your guest. So your guest goes, and then you normally forget all about them. So really, what you want to do is you want to let your guests know that you do remember who they are. And one of the ways you can do that is quite simply is things like sending a birthday card, for example. Or if there's any other special occasion, you can send them a card. Because you would have built up their guest history. You would have got a lot of information from your guest. So you need to make use of that information. And there's nothing better than, being a guest and receiving something in the post from the hotel, think, oh, wow, oh, yeah, I remember that was such a good stay. And then the memories start coming back. And then obviously you want the guest to return to you. And again, this is probably the hardest part as well, because the guest returns, they've been to you once, but the magic is still going to continue. So you repeat the cycle, but you've got to still do it in a different way. So you need to have different experiences. You can't do the same experience because then it's not unique.
So really that's, excellent from a point of view of easily remembered and the R's all the way through. I think really, and final question to you. So you've had a look, and where has been your favourite stay in a hotel and why?
Gosh. Oh, gosh.
Caught you on the hop with this one.
Oh, I hate that question. I haven't actually got a favourite stay as such.
Where have you been where have you felt the best, sort of your best experience from a hotel point of view that's actually followed some of the R's, or as many of them as possibly as you could do?
See, that's the thing. I haven't been to a hotel that's done every single R.
You
They've
see.
only done bits of them.
Yeah.
So, for example, I stayed at a small bed and breakfast once, and I can't remember the name. And they did the kind of anniversary card thing, but it was the anniversary of my stay, I think they used. So it's a different way of doing it, which was quite nice. But they only did it once. If they did it every year...
Oh, I see, yeah. So
and continued that. And I thought, yeah, actually, I'll go. Because I only did it once, I can't remember which
otherwise you remember, wouldn't you? Yeah. But isn't consistency important? And don't you find that that's kind of one of the banes of the industry, is that you have such a turnover of people that you get a good manager who've got all these wonderful things in place, and then it changes, and then you start looking, and then the people change. So isn't the importance of the people who are actually there in consistency?
Absolutely. And so it's very key about how you train your staff so they understand the concepts of this, and also that it becomes part of the culture of your hotel company. So, I just have to tell you this story. I was at a restaurant, and it was for a birthday celebration. It was actually my father's birthday. Went there for an evening meal, and it's a restaurant where, the chef's cooked in front of you. It's all very theatrical and that sort of thing. So I made the booking, and I mentioned it was my father's birthday. I said, oh, yes, we'll do a little birthday plate for them. I went, okay. And to me, a birthday plate's a bit bog standard now because everyone kind of knows what a birthday plate is. But I thought, okay, for my father, it might be, he might be surprised by it. Anyway, so it came round to kind of dessert time, and he goes, oh, I'm so full, I don't want dessert. And I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of looked at the waiter, and I was thinking, he doesn't want dessert. You did get that, didn't you? And he goes, oh, yes, it's right. Yeah, we know. I thought, what are they going to do? So they came along, and what they do is they presented him with an empty birthday plate.
Oh, really?
And I was like, ouch, no.
No.
You could at least put something in the plate, So it was just an empty plate saying happy birthday on it. And I thought, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
So that's where a surprise has become a standard.
Yes.
And the staff don't really understand the concept behind why they're doing it.
No, absolutely.
And that's the danger.
So really it's a constantly evolving process that can never stop. It needs to continue way through. Well, Monica, thank you very much indeed for your time. It's been fascinating talking to you. We look forward to doing it again.
Excellent.
Thank you.